Hello friends, again welcome to my channel. Now today we are dealing with one of the important topic from that of the food microbiology, that is microorganisms which are associated with the food. Means within that we are discussing about some type of the food products and some related type of the microorganisms which are associated with that specific food products. Okay. Now, majorly, whenever we are describing about this food microbiology, within that, as we are eating the food material for getting the energy, nutrients, so within that, these microorganisms, these are also growing on any type of the material, or these are also requiring the nutrients for their growth. So, as the food, it is a rich source of the growth factors or the nutrients. So, these are also get attacked by the different types of the microorganisms. But whenever we are considering about the natural microflora of any type of the food material, this natural microflora, it is present at very low number. These are containing very low number of microorganisms as their natural microflora. But whenever we are manufacturing that food product, or whenever we are providing the specific type of the processing to that food products, during all of these steps, majorly these food samples, these are get contaminated by the microorganisms. Each type of the food material, these are related with the predominant microflora. Means some specific type of the microorganisms, they are preferentially present within that food sample, or they are preferentially found within that food sample. It is depending upon, as this food sample, these are responsible for providing the optimum growth conditions for the growth of that specific type of the microorganisms. Means, for example, if there is the acidophilic food material, it is present within that, there is the growth of acidophilic bacteria. If some of the food material, these are stored at the lower temperature, then within that the saccharophilic microorganisms, they are growing. Likewise, that majorly the food sample, these are providing this optimum growth conditions, and as these are favorable for the growth of the microorganisms, then there is the growth of that specific type of the microorganisms within that food sample. Now we are switch over to the predominant microflora which is associated with the meat and meat products. Now majorly whenever we are obtaining that meat product from the animals, only there is the surface contamination, it is present. Means the microflora which is present on the surface of that meat, it is only present, but the internal tissues of that meat, or the internal tissues within that, these are completely sterile. These are free from any type of the microorganisms, because as we are obtaining them from the animals, so majorly these internal tissues, these are not get contaminated. These are sterile one. Now whenever we are preparing the cuts within that meat, at that time these internal tissues, these are get exposed to the environment, and as these microorganisms, these are ubiquitous in nature, within the air also there is the presence of different types of the microorganisms. So this air microflora, it is responsible for contaminating that internal tissues. The most common type of the bacteria which are associated with this fresh meat, these are including the Pseudomonas, coliform, Enterococci, all of these which are gram negative in nature, and the Staphylococci and the Micrococcus species which are gram positive in nature. The low temperature at which the fresh meats, these are held, these are responsible for favoring the growth of saccharophilic microorganisms. That means those microorganisms which are able to grow at lower temperature. The next type of the food material which is present, it is the eggs. Now majorly the interior of the freshly laid egg, it is usually free from any type of the microorganisms. The freshly laid eggs, these are free from any type of the microorganism. Its subsequent microbial content, it is determined by the sanitary conditions, under which we are held that eggs, as well as the conditions of the storage. Means the place where we are storing that eggs, that is the temperature and humidity, because majorly whenever we are considering about the optimum growth conditions for the microorganism, the most important point or the most important factors which are affecting the microbial growth, these are including the temperature and humidity. So the storage condition at which we are storing that eggs, the temperature of that preservation and the humidity present within that environment at which we are storing that eggs. The growth of microorganism, it is depending upon these two factors. The microorganism, particularly the bacteria and the molds, they may enter into the eggs through the cracks which may be formed on the shells or penetrate the shells when the bloom, that is the thin protein coat covering the shell, thin protein coat which is responsible for covering the shell, there is the destruction of that covering. Through that, majorly there may be the entry of this bacteria inside the eggs. The type of microorganism involved reflect those present within the environment. Means it is not depending up only those of the microorganisms which are present within that external environment. These are introducing inside these eggs. Now the next type of the food material, it is the fruits and vegetables. Now within these fruits and vegetable, these are normally susceptible to the infection by bacteria, fungi and viruses. Means they may be attacked by the infection by the bacteria and fungi. Preferentially we are focusing on the bacteria and fungi. The second factor contributing to the microbial contamination of these fruits and vegetables, it is the whenever there is the means during the post harvesting handling. Means the different persons who are during the harvesting, they are responsible for handling that fruits and vegetable. So majorly the microflora which is associated with that fruit handlers, these are also responsible for introducing within the fruits. Means those of the persons who are handling that fruits and vegetables, they are responsible for transferring some of the microflora within these fruits and vegetables. Then the mechanical handling, it is likely to produce the breaks in the tissue. If instead of the manual handling, if there is the use of the mechanical handling, then at that time during this mechanical handling, there may be the breaks, these are created within the tissues of the fruits and vegetables. Through that, majorly the microorganisms which are present on the surfaces of the fruits or vegetables, these are get entry inside to the internal tissues of these fruits and vegetables. The pH of the fruit, it is relatively acidic, that is majorly ranging from 2.3 which is for the lemons to 5.2 for the banana. So due to this acidic condition, majorly this restricts the bacterial growth, because most of the bacteria, these are favoring, or the most important favorable pH which favors the growth of this bacteria, it is the alkaline pH. So as such type of the acidic pH, it is present within the fruits. So majorly there is the restriction of bacterial growth, but as the fungi or the mold, these are acid loving, they are grow at the acidic pH. So due to that, these are not responsible for retarding the fungal growth. The pH range for the vegetable is slightly higher, that is from the pH 5 to 7. Again which is susceptible by the bacterial and the fungal attack, and majorly the bacterial attack as compared to that of the fungal attack. These are attacked by the bacteria. Means the fruits, these are attacks by the fungal growth or by the mold, and the vegetables due to the alkaline pH, majorly these are attacked by the bacteria. Now the next one, it is the milk. As we know that majorly the milk, it is acts as an excellent growth medium, as it contains the different types of the proteins, vitamins, growth factors. Due to that, it is acts as an excellent growth medium for all of the common spoilage organisms, as it is responsible for fulfilling our nutritional requirements. Likewise that majorly these are also responsible for fulfilling the all of the growth requirement for the different types of the spoilage microorganism, including the mold and yeast. The common bacterial species which are associated with the milk sample, these are including the Enterococcus, Lactococcus, Streptococcus, Leuconostoc, Lactobacillus, Microbacterium, Propionibacterium, Micrococcus, Coliforms, Proteus, Pseudomonas, Bacillus. Means number of different microorganisms, they can attack the milk sample. Majorly the pasteurized milk, it is free from the thermoduric microorganism. It means those microorganisms which can grow at a higher temperature. So this pasteurized milk, it is free from these thermoduric microorganisms which can tolerate, means naturally these are not thermophilic, but they can tolerate this higher temperature, such type of the thermodynamic microorganisms, they are not present within the pasteurized milk. The spoilage of pasteurized milk, it is caused by the growth of heat resistant bacteria. For example, it is an streptococcus. Now here these are the different sources through which there is the contamination of the food sample. Means as we are explaining that majorly whenever we are obtaining that food material or the natural microflora which is associated with the food, it is very low number, means very low number of microorganisms these are associated with the food sample. But during the processing majorly there is the contamination, means during the manufacturing, during the different processing, there is the contamination of this food sample, it is occur. Means majorly whenever there is the processing plant, we are obtaining raw material from the farm. This raw material, it is free from the microorganisms, or it is majorly containing the low number of microorganisms. After that, whenever we are transport it to the processing plant, again within that processing plant from the different environment we are transport it. So during the transportation there are the chances for the contamination of this food sample. Again we are storing that food sample. After the processing there is the storage of that food sample. During this storing condition, if there is no maintenance of these storing conditions, means if suppose the food samples these are stored at the 4-degree temperature, if during that storage period, if the temperature it is not constantly maintained, means it is not maintained at the 4-degree temperature, then due to such a fluctuation conditions or due to the fluctuation within the temperature, there may be chances for the growth of the other type of the microorganism due to the increase within the temperature. Okay, again within that whenever there is the transportation of this food product, these are carried out. Again during the transportation, if there is no proper packaging of the food products, again the environmental microflora or those of the persons who are responsible for handling that food material, they are responsible for introducing the microorganisms within the food sample. Again these are transferred to the stores. Within that stores where again there is the storage of that food material, if there is no proper maintenance of the storing conditions, again there is the chances for the introduction of microorganisms. And after that, means from the stores these are transferred to the consumer. Means as the time from the production of that food material up to the consumption of that food material, there are the different sources which are responsible for introducing the various types of the microorganisms within the food sample. So for that purpose it is important that each and every step whenever it is carried out during the processing or during the storing, the care should be taken that majorly these food samples, these are free from the microorganisms. These are free from the microorganisms, or there is no contamination of such type of the food product, because if these food samples these are get contaminated, and if these are contaminated by the pathogenic microorganisms, there are the chances for the occurrence of the foodborne diseases, either it is an foodborne infection or the food intoxications. Now there are the different sources of the microorganisms within the food sample. The natural sources, these are including the fruits, vegetables, animal body parts. These are responsible for introducing the microorganisms within the food. From the plant origin, majorly there is the introduction of molds, yeast, then the lactic acid bacteria, Pseudomonas, alkaligenes, Micrococcus, Irvinia, Bacillus, Clostridium. All of these microorganisms, they may be originated from the different plants within the food samples. Means the different types of the raw material that we are utilized for the purpose of food processing, majorly through that there is the introduction of these microorganisms within the food. Then from the animal origin, means if we are preparing the food material containing the meat products, then within that there are the chances for the presence of the Salmonella cerevisiae, then the pathogenic Escherichia coli, Campylobacter jejuni, Yersinia, Enterocolitica, then the Listeria monocytogenes, they may be present. Along with this plant and animal origin, majorly there are also the different types of the external sources which are also responsible for introducing these microorganisms within the food sample, which are including the air, that is whenever the food materials these are exposed to the environment, external environment, the microflora which is present within the air, that is air, it contains the fungal spores, bacterial spores, So these microbial cells, these are present within the air. So these are also responsible for contaminating the food sample. Then the soil, through the wind, majorly the soil particles, they are responsible for mixing with the food products. So this soil, it is also responsible for introducing these microorganisms. Then the sewage, water, feeds, the human beings which are responsible for handling that food material. Then the different types of the food ingredients that we are utilized. Majorly, if these food ingredients, these are of not of good quality, if these are already get contaminated by the microorganisms, again these are also introducing this microorganism within the food sample. Then the equipments, means the different types of the materials that we are utilized, the different types of the container within which we are preparing that food material, these are responsible for introducing this microflora. Then the packaging material that we are utilized for the purpose of packaging of food material, these are also responsible for introducing these microorganisms within the food sample. Then the insect, if these are exposed to the environment, these insects, these are on the body of these insects, there is the presence of microorganisms. So these are also responsible for introducing these microorganisms within the food sample. Here within this figure we can observe that the different food handlers, soil, air, food contact surfaces, packaging material, animals, rodents, insects, different types of the ingredients that we are utilized for the food processing, then the water, all of these are the sources of microorganisms within the food sample, That is majorly whenever we are considering about the air, the dust particles, then the moisture droplets, these are responsible for introducing these microorganisms. Majorly within the air, or the type of the microorganisms which are present within the air, it is depending upon the humidity, then the size of that dust particles, the temperature within that environment, air velocity. Majorly within the air there is the presence of the bacterial and fungal spores, and commonly the gram-positive bacteria which are present within the air, these are including the micrococca and sarcina. The most important point to reduce this air microflora, it is to control these microorganisms within the air, means to avoid the contact of the food material with the external environment. Then the soil. Now majorly the many types of the molds, yeast and the bacterial genera, these can enter the food from the soil, which including the Enterobacter, Pseudomonas, Proteus, Micrococcus, Enterococcus, Bacillus and Clostridium, because all of these are the soil bacteria. Within the soil sample there is the growth of these microorganisms. So from the soil, if the soil particles, these are mixes with the food sample, these are along with that soil particles, there is also entry of these microorganisms within the food sample. Then there may be the fecal contamination, then the different parasites, these are also present within the soil sample. If we are avoiding the contact of the food sample with the soil particles, then we can avoid the contamination or the entry of microorganisms from the soil within the food sample. Then the sewage. Majorly we observe that surrounding to that of the farms, majorly there is the presence of the sewage water. So this sewage water, it is responsible for introducing these microorganisms within that, means within the soil sample, these are get transferred, these bacteria or these microorganisms, these are transferred within that, and through that these are transferred to the plants, and majorly these are get transferred to the raw material. Means majorly there is the use of, in many cases there is the use of sewage sample as an fertilizer. So whenever it is utilized as an fertilizer, if it is not free from the pathogenic microorganisms, so through that fertilizers there may be the entry of these microorganisms within the food sample or within the raw material that we are utilized for the purpose of preparation of the food. Means if it is untreated, it is responsible for adding the different types of enteric pathogens. So it is important that to avoid the contamination through the sewage, it is important that whenever we are utilizing this sewage sample as an fertilizer, it is completely free from the pathogens, means only the treated sewage it is utilized for the preparation of fertilizer. Again the water. Majorly the water, it is the important ingredients within the different types of the food material. because it is utilized for the purpose of food processing, then for the washing purposes, to wash the different equipments or the utensils that we are utilized for the food processing. It is maybe an ingredient within the food. Within this water sample, if this water sample that we are utilized for these different purposes, if it is of not good quality, if it is contaminated by the microorganisms like that of the Pseudomonas, alkaligenes and Flavobacterium, again these are also get introduced within the food sample. So majorly whenever you are utilizing the water sample for the preparation of food, this water sample, it must be of good quality. Now the humans means those of the persons who are responsible for processing or preparing that food material, or who are responsible for handling that food materials. These are the important source which are responsible for introducing these microorganisms within the food sample. Because the humans, these are the main carriers of the different types of the pathogens. Or these, in other words, we can say that they are acts as an vectors which are responsible for introducing these pathogenic microorganisms within the food sample. Most commonly the Staphylococci, Salmonella, Shigella, Escherichia coli and the hepatitis A virus. These are associated with the human body, and from the human body they may be get introduced within the food sample. So whenever we are handling that food material, majorly the most important point it is the hygienic conditions these are maintained. Hygienic conditions or the sanitary conditions these are maintained. Those of the persons who are suffered from any type of the infection, these are not responsible for handling that food material, or the food material is keep away from such type of the persons who are suffered from any type of the infection. The types of the food ingredients. Within these food ingredients, majorly we are adding different types of the additives within the food sample, then different types of the spices these are added within. So if these spices or the food additives, these are associated with the microorganisms, so these are acts as a main source for introducing these microorganisms within the food sample. So most important point it is use the sanitary conditions to avoid such type of the contamination. Then the different types of the equipment, the different types of the utensils or the equipments that we are utilized for the preparation of food or for the processing of the food material. That means during the harvesting, slaughtering, transporting, processing and the storing of food material. Through that equipment there may be the introduction of Salmonella, Listeria, Escherichia, Enterococcus, Micrococcus, Pseudomonas, Lactobacillus, Leuconostoc, Clostridium. These number of different bacterial species, they may be associated with these different equipments, because as the humans these are handling that equipments, and as these organisms these are also present within the environment. So from that equipment these are directly get introduced within the food sample. Majorly the raw products. Firstly, whenever we are eating that raw product, the cooking it is important, because the raw products these are associated with the microflora. Whenever the cooking it is carried out, there is the destruction of most of the microflora, and whenever we are consuming the freshly cooked food materials, it is free from the microorganism. Mostly it is free from the microorganism. So in most of the cases you firstly prefer to eat the freshly cooked food material. So here it is the information about which are the different sources for the introduction of the microorganisms within the food sample, and some specific or the predominant microflora associated with the specific type of the food products. So if you like this video, please subscribe my channel and also share this video with your friends. Thank you.